Hi, welcome to this week's brief book review. The book we're looking at this week is called A Sliver of Darkness by author C.J.Tudor. It helpfully tells us on the top of the cover that this is a book of 11 twisted tales of the macabre. I have to admit, I'm not normally a fan of the horror genre. I'm not always keen on short story anthologies. I've reviewed short story compilations before on the channel, and my concern is that sometimes those stories are a great fit for a short story format. In other cases, they're basically stories that haven't really made the cut for a full-length book. So, you never know what you're going to get. However, I wasn't that familiar with this author, C.J. Tudor, but after doing a bit of research, I know that there's some very well-received previous books, including The Chalk Man, and she's also referred to as the UK's Stephen King, which is praise indeed, and also by another review that I read, previous books, the Queen of Scream. That almost sounds like an introduction to a fight in a Rocky movie, but I digress. So, despite some reservations, I thought I'll give her a go, and I read through the 11 short stories. What is very useful in this book is that prior to each short story, the author explains the thinking behind the story, how it came to be and what they were trying to do, which is very useful. There's also a note from the author explaining that due to circumstances beyond her control, due to COVID and family issues, she couldn't issue a book this year, and this collection of short stories is filling that gap. The new book, The Drift, will be issued in January 2023. But back to the plot. Short stories. Well, I read through the book, read this in one sitting. Like all collections of short stories, some are really good, some are okay, others you're not too sure of. And I guess the summary is, on these short stories, there were some that I thought, I wonder how that's going to end. Others that I thought, I know how that's going to end. Others that were just plain quirky. I guess, if anything, there's a theme through the book of sort of the apocalypse. The first story in the book is called End of the Liner, and it tells a tale of people that are on boats permanently because the land is not safe to be on post-apocalypse. And it solves one problem and creates another, and that was a very interesting read. We had another story called Butterfly Island at the end, where an abandoned island, which was once set to breed butterflies, also has a secret formula to rid the country and the world's population of a virus that's being rampant. So there's another tale called Final Course, where a group of friends meet in a manor house, and that manor house is protected by electric fences because of the various no good zombie creatures that are inhabiting the countryside. So there's that theme of slightly apocalyptic type fervour in some of the stories, but they're not all like that. And there's a couple of particularly quirky one called The Copy Shop, where anything and everything can get copied, and one I liked in particular called The Completion, which is about a dodgy estate agent, somebody who's completely ruthless. And the old joke about estate agents. How can you tell if an estate agent's lying when they open their mouth? Boom. But in this case, the estate agent meets somebody who's even more ruthless and dodgy than they are. So a good read. So what's the verdict then? Well, all in all, I enjoyed it. He says, sounding a bit surprised, but sometimes it does you good to read things that you wouldn't normally read and get out of your comfort zone a bit. You can't, in my case, I can't read Lee Child and John Grisham forever. So this was good. I enjoyed it. I give it 7 out of 10. And certainly, as I said, the author's got a book coming out in January called The Drift. I'm going to be looking out for that, and I'll be reading it. So, in summary, 11 short stories, very easy to read. Some of them very good, some okay, others not so good, but you always get that with a short story compilation. So that's it for today's brief book review. 10/10 till we do it again. Thanks for watching. Bye.